Hey guys, welcome back to TigeraGitana. My name is Abby, and today we are going to be doing the weekly chakra healing video. I'm sorry for my absence last week. That transition from Cancer to Leo season is not always like my favorite transition. This is what happens when you have Cancer in the 12th house. So I end up like disappearing. But yeah, I just needed to have some personal time and lots of reflection and lots of stuff. And the moon is currently in Cancer, so this is just gonna be a fun time, which is fine. I have Jupiter in Cancer as well, so it's just a lot of spiritual, emotional, deep transitions at this time. Now we're gonna get right into it because we have a lot to talk about. This week's reading is literally all over the place, like what is happening. But I can see that the stubbornness is real because bottom of the deck for the I'm sorry, we should talk about the bottom of the deck. Is the Two of Swords and the Four of Swords, and it's just like a lot of weird type of fixed energy. Very weird type of fixed energy. This is a card for the root chakra, and it's very interesting to me, like how the rest of the reading plays out, especially with this in the root chakra, because this just to me feels like this week some people are going to kind of go back to some unhealthy habits that they picked up and quite possibly healed before, just out of all of the inconvenience that this week is bringing. This week with on I don't want to say like on a negative note, but there is some stuff happening this week that's just really weird. For the root chakra itself, it's just this is a survival tactic this week. This is what you're doing this week to try to kind of mend this situation, is straight out of trying to hold everything together, trying to keep your bearings together, trying to kind of put a face, trying to like make it work for whatever reason. It's just a very stubborn energy, and it's a very kind of like, no, this is the only way, this is the only thing I can do, this is the only, like, it's just the only thing, apparently it's your only option. That's how you're perceiving it, that's how the direction is a very stuck kind of energy. Also, it's interesting to me how many fours are in this reading as well, because the sacral chakra, the card for the sacral chakra, is the Four of Cups in reverse. So there is kind of like this energy of, you know, I've been kind of dealt this really weird hand, and I'm trying my best to react to it. I'm trying my best to deal with it, and I'm just not gonna, you know, sit here. I'm not gonna sit here and like just be mad about it. I'm just gonna do something about it. I'm gonna react. Willpower wise, the solar plexus card is a Ten of Swords, so there is like this vibe of like having to address something that's, and literally it's just to the point where it needs to be just ended, but some of y'all is literally trying to hold on to life, when the biggest answer for this is that it needs to be completely let go and purged, because there's no more effort that you can give into this that's gonna like benefit anything or anyone in the situation. It's just like literally a very toxic situation. But at this point, it's just like, it's just a survival tactic. Like, you're trying to make it work, you're trying to survive through it, you're trying to like see your way out of it, but the solution that you're presenting yourself is not necessarily the solution. It's just more of a hardship. I'm seeing this a lot for like a work situation for some people. Some people might have to leave their jobs, some people might get cut off from their jobs. There's just like a lot of stuff going on, and it's like trying trying to make it work, trying to give yourself a reason why you should still stay there. If this is a job situation, because I'm seeing it as a job situation for a lot of people, if this is a job situation, if this is one of those you're either going to quit or they're going to fire you type of situations. And it's either you're going to let them stick these swords in your back, or you're just going to take one of these swords and be like, no, you know what, I'm out, I can't do this. And then put your time and energy after you're down out of that situation into something else. But I see some people either getting fired this week, or I see some people either quitting this week. So it depends how you're using your willpower. For some, it will be shot, like your willpower will be shot. You are not going to be able to really properly react. It's understandable, because the way our society works with money, and with needing to have a job to pay for different things, like it's totally understandable as to why there's almost like this flight risk, like, oh my god, if this happens to me, it's like the end of the world. But it's really not, because you would have time to find something else, and you would have time to receive other things. It's just that the way the situation is set up is just not meant for you, and at this point it's just getting either ripped out, or you're going to rip it out. However, there is a stubbornness there, so some of y'all might actually let them do it to you versus you doing it. Some people might just take it upon themselves to do it themselves. Be mindful to the things that you're holding on to, especially negatively, especially things that you already know are not meant for you. You already know you hate this job. You already know you want to leave. You've already said you don't care. You've already said all of these things. But when it gets to that point where you're in that room with them and you're just like, you know it's about to be over, it's a different, like, you know, that leads to, okay, well, I'm gonna have to look for a job that might take me 2 weeks. That's 2 weeks when I'm getting paid. That stress, that anxiety, it's what's causing this weird thing where you can't accept the reality of what's happening on a spiritual level. Because on a spiritual level, you don't need this. On a physical level, you don't need this either. On a material level, you can say you do, because you obviously you need to pay for your bills and all these things. But at the end of the day, the universe doesn't work on that time frame. The universe doesn't care for that type of constraint. If it's not meant for you, it's going to get taken out of your way, whether it's by their hands or yours. So it's kind of like, who are you giving your power to? Are you going to let them give your power to it, or are you going to do it yourself? So yeah, there's a lot of people that are going to be in a bit of a struggle-ish this week. Now, once that happens though, the hilarious part, your heart chakra, the card for the heart chakra is actually the Four of Wands. So there's going to be some relief to this kind of ending. And it's not necessarily a bad thing, especially for the heart chakra. There is a part of you that's just relieved. But it's just so weird to try to integrate those two ideas without being a little bit frustrated. And this is why the throat chakra is like the Five of Cups. It's like you can't help feeling a certain type of way about it. How you were like fucked over, how you were like in a like negative place, how everything went down, why it went down the way it did, whether this has been something that's been going on for a while, you've been misused, misabused in the workplace. This could be about a relationship too, but this is specifically to me reading for workplace for some people. You could have been misused. There's a lot of like weird trauma that's coming from the situation where it's just like, I was not treated the way I was treated, but you know what? I'm really relieved that I'm out of it. So it's just like two different energies going on here and here this week. So how you speak of the situation might be very frustrated, very hurt, very like uncomfortable, but how you feel internally, like in your heart space, is there's just like, oh my god, finally I don't have to deal with that anymore. Like it's just like a duality of sorts happening. Now for the third eye, we have Temperance, and this is directly speaking to the situation, because as I said, there is like, after you kind of have to deal with this weird energy in this weird situation that you're in, Temperance comes in the third eye to tell you that everything's going to be okay. And this is very much not only the angels and your guides and like your ancestors, but it's just about embodying that energy if you are using your third eye, then you will know that you will be fine. After the situation passes, there's almost like a wave of relief that comes through. Even through this, there's just like a, okay, let's chill. Let's just, you know what, it happened. Okay, let me just pause. And then I'm going to just take it easy for a minute and like let myself get back into the flow of what I need to do. Let myself contemplate. And this goes into the crown chakra, which is the hangman. And this is just like about, okay, let me contemplate, let me take a break, let me take a moment, a day or two, to really think about, okay, what is my path looking like? What am I doing? What do I really need to be? What am I getting called to do? Like, what does my soul want? Like, it's just about pausing and contemplation, but giving yourself that space to have that time to do so. And that space can take a little bit longer than some people might want from you. So just give yourself the space. But there's a lot of like weird endings happening this week. Yeah, and that is this week's chakra healing video. Take it as you will. Just make sure that you're working on healing those chakras that are impacting you throughout the week, whether it's your root, your sacral space, your throat. Like, just really send love and healing to those spaces this week, because it just seems like a very rough kind of week. Anyway, so I will see you guys in the next video. I have a bunch of videos actually that are going up today and tomorrow and the rest of the week. Also, if you have not checked out my Patreon, today the first class went up for the clairs. We're going to be teaching, well, I'm going to be teaching you guys how to develop your intuitive gifts, and this is going to go straight into my medium development course that I'm going to be teaching. So the first class on that is on the clairs. We're going to be breaking down each clair. There's going to be a lot of work, lots of homework, lots of things to do. So definitely check out my Patreon if you are interested in taking the classes. And yeah, definitely check it out. As we continue to grow, there's going to be different, more interactive stuff that we're going to be doing. So check it out. But the first one is going to be on clairaudience, and it's already been posted. So enjoy. For those who are a part of the community, definitely go ahead and do the homework. Definitely take the class and practice these skills, because as we develop our clairs, we then are able to really use our intuition to its fullest extent, really use that mediumship, really communicate with spirit seamlessly, use our third eye seamlessly. It just keeps being in your full power when you are connected to your abilities to its fullest extent. So that's what we're going to be working on for the Patreon, so definitely check it out. And shout out to my Patreon members as well. So anyway, don't forget to subscribe. All the links and stuff will be down below, so definitely make sure you check it out. And I will see you guys in the next video.